Okay, we are going to finish the, what lesson is this? 9-5?
9-6.
9-5 notes today about hyperbolas. Okay, so we just kind of reviewed a little bit of some random stuff that we remember from hyperbolas. So starting as a little warm-up today, Sydney, we're going to do list out what we can tell about this hyperbola just from the equation. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm just going to ask questions, okay? Then you can just answer. First question, is this in standard form?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Second question, how do we know it's a hyperbola?
Because
I
raised my hand.
Okay, Nick, go ahead.
There's a subtraction sign between the two fractions.
Good. Subtraction sign between the x and y variables that are both being squared and it's set equal to what number? 1. Good. That's what we call a hyperbola. If that were a plus sign in between those variables, that would make this an ellipse. Okay. So, one thing we talked about is a squared always goes first in hyperbolas. Always.
Yep.
And b squared goes second. All right. So, I don't remember who said this, but somebody said if the y variable is listed first, that means it's going to be vertical. And that's correct. Who said that?
Me.
Justin. Nice.
Good job, Justin.
Okay. So, this one right here would be a vertical. With the center where?
3,
Nope.
1.
Did that yesterday too. Negative 1, negative 1, 3. Good.
I got it.
All right, I'm just gonna kind of draw a little sketch. It doesn't ask me to graph this, but what I know right now is that the center is at negative 1, 3, and I know it's gonna open kind of like this, but I don't know how far. But I know it's a vertical type like that.
Yep.
Okay. So I can figure out where the vertices are by identifying what my A and B are. A squared is 49, so A is 7, B is 5. So that means my vertices are 7 above and below the center. Okay, if you want to plot that, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, who can give me those coordinates?
Got it.
Okay, Nick, go ahead.
Negative 110 and negative 14.
Do we agree?
No.
Well, negative 1, negative 4.
Yep.
I don't remember if that's what you said. Good. That would be 7 above and below, right? Just add 7 to the center to get this one. Subtract 7 to get that one. Okay, good. It doesn't ask us for this, but if we were to draw our box, our co-vertice would be 5 units to the right and to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I am going to have to find the equation of my asymptote, so it helps to draw this graph. Okay. Okay. Let's just go ahead and finish this up with finding where the foci are and then the equations of the asymptotes. So, do you guys remember the equation for this one to find the foci? See,
Plus.
a squared plus b squared. Good. Thank you. Remember, if it's a minus, if this one's plus. Yep. Okay, so I know a squared is 49 and b squared is 25. So c squared is 74, which means c is plus or minus the square root of 74. I don't have to graph this, so I mean, you can get the approximation if you want. I just know that from my center, the focus would lie inside my hyperbola. So on this little sketch, if you wanted to draw on your hyperbola, you can. You can draw on your asymptotes if you want to, but my foci are going to be somewhere in here. So they're going to have x-coordinates of -1, and then it would be 3 plus or minus the square root of 74. Okay, with me? Asymptotes, if I were to draw them in, they go through the corners of my box and through my center. So I would do in point slope form y minus the center, so I'll use 3, equals, all right, the slope. So from the center, think your rise over your run. But we know we went up 7, because that's what A was. And we know we went to the right 5, because that's what B is. So the slope would be 7/5 x plus 1. Distribute to put this in slope-intercept form. There's one asymptote. Okay, to save time, I'm just going to give you the equation of the other one. This is just as a little like warm-up, refresh your memory. We're going to get to do more today anyways.
Oh, thank you, Nicholas.
Do you hear those excited noises? Okay, remember that? All
Yeah.
that jazz.
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 Got it.
Jazzy.
That's everything I can tell just by giving the equation.
That's complicated.
It wasn't hard. All right.
What was that? A sucker. Shut up.
Be nice.
Yeah, come on, let's be nice.
Okay. The directions here say write the hyperbola in standard form. Identify the vertex, foci, and asymptotes. All right, so the weird one with this one is I see I have x squared and y squared, and I see they're being subtracted. So my first instinct is this is hyperbola. Idea.
Center is 0, 0 divided by 25.
Okay, we have to divide by 25 first because it's not set equal to 1, but you're right, the center is at 0, 0. Let's go ahead and divide everything by 25. Okay.
Why? Why not just minus 25?
Because
It has to be set equal to 1. Okay. Now, let's go over the math here.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. 9 doesn't divide by 25 evenly. So right now, here's kind of the this algebra work. Right now I have 9 being divided by 25 times y squared. Right? 9 25ths. It doesn't evenly divide. I still want to have a number in my denominator, and I only want y squared in my numerator. So instead of timesing by this number, I'm going to divide it by the reciprocal.
Times 9.
That's the same math. Dividing by a fraction is the same as timesing by a reciprocal. Okay, I'm just ignoring the negative because I'm going to have minus. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you all agree that if I were to divide by 25/9, that's the same math as timesing by 9 25ths times by reciprocal? We're just kind of doing it the other way. Normally, instead of dividing by a fraction, we times reciprocal. Here, in order to get a number in my denominator, instead of times by that fraction, I'm going to divide by the reciprocal. So it ends up being y squared over 25/9, and that's okay. It just means my b value is a fraction.
That makes me angry. Everyone like there's a fraction in the denominator.
Yeah, same, but it's not. It is what it is.
25.
Now this is in standard form. Exactly. Yep. B is going to be 5/3. That just means your covariance, or like when you draw your box, which again we're not asked to graph this, but if you were to draw your box, it's just a fraction of the way away from the center instead of a nice clean whole number. It's okay. So Connor was right that my center is at 0, 0. Would this be a horizontal or a vertical? Horizontal. Why?
Because the X is first.
Yep.
Good job.
A is always first. X is listed first. This is a horizontal. Okay, so they want me to identify the vertices, foci, and the asymptotes. So let's start with, I'm going to kind of draw a sketch as we do this. Centered at 0, 0. We know it's horizontal. What would my vertices be?
0, 5.
0, 5 would give me a vertical hyperbola.
Oh, so 5, 0.
5, 0, yeah, it's going to be 5 units this way.
And negative 5, 0.
No show.
Negative 5, 0. Good. Okay, that was one thing they asked me to identify.
So, what if you're asking for like what we know? Do we have to put like horizontal or vertical?
Yeah. Yeah, put what orientation it is.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and draw in our box. So I know b squared is 25 ninths, meaning b, square a fraction, you square the top, square the bottom, is 5 thirds. Okay, so that's 1 and 2/3. So to draw your box, just do 1 and a little bit more, about 2/3 of the way. They don't ask me to like state where my cold vertices are, but this will just give us a visual for our asymptotes. Okay, next on my list, they asked me to identify as a foci. So I know that c squared is a squared plus b squared. A squared is 25. B squared is 25 ninths. Oh boy, fraction action here. 25. I got 250 ninths when I added that.
Use 5 root 10 over 9.
Yes, good job. Square root both sides. Don't forget plus or minus.
Over 3, sorry.
5 root 10, because you have 25 and 10, over the square root of 9 is 3. That's the exact answer. So my foci, go by this over here. This is what they're asking me to identify. So my foci would be plus or minus 5, oh gosh, 5 root 10 over 3, comma, 0. Because those would lie inside my hyperbola. This is my hyperbola, horizontal. Technically, I should have drawn the asymptotes before I draw that, but again, we're not asked to actually graph this. This is just a little sketch to help me piece together my list here. Okay, ready on that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, asymptotes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot about those.
The nice thing is these go through the center. So you don't really need to do point slope form. You can jump right to y equals mx plus b form, because what's my b value? 0, right? If I were to write these in slope intercept form, and the y-intercept is 0, that's pretty easy to do. You can do point slope form. You're just doing y minus 0 equals slope x minus 0, and you'll see you'll just get, right? Because b is 0. So whatever you want to do. So we essentially only, to write these asymptotes, we only really need to find the slope, and now you can jump right to the equation. Okay, so let's see here. Our slope, we have a rise of 5 thirds and a run of 5. Okay, instead of dividing by 5 times reciprocal, what's the reciprocal of 5?
5
1/5.
I got 115.
1/3.
Oh no. I got 115. Oh, I forgot the 5.
5/15 would reduce to
I did the other
1/3.
way around. I put 3/5.
Oh,
Thanks, Carter. Yep, now I got 1/3. Okay.
Okay, so those are just a couple, well, that one was just a little bit weirder numbers that I wanted to do. The only 2 problems we're going to do today, you guys, well, besides those ones,
Yeah.
the only 2 we're going to do are still graphing, but now they're not written in standard form. So we're going to have to complete the square to get there.
yay.
But it's taking 2 things we already know how to do. We know how to complete the square. We know how to graph hyperbolas. Now we're just going to do that all in one problem.
Why?
So no problem.
Wow.
Did you bring it up for the whole class?
What?
Did you bring enough suckers for the whole class?
No.
Then you can't eat that in here. Yeah.
Oh,
I've been eating
Yeah.
like this whole fast
Find
food.
it off.
I never
suck
noticed. That sounds about right.
As he's down on his desk.
Can you erase my
Lucky.
name?
What?
Can you erase my name?
No, no.
So I don't look like a bad child.
Oh,
Yeah,
from here. I
that's
thought you
fine.
meant from the top scoreboard.
No, not from that. You can keep me up there.
No, I think you should the name from that. Just because.
Okay. All right, let's do this and then we can be
I'm
done.
watching you.
This one or this two?
This one page.
No, you need to
One page.
So 2 problems.
This page looks pretty good.
Okay, you guys know the drill. Group the X's.
Yep.
Mm.
That's the point.
Mm.
Group the Y's.
Glad to hear. I'm writing equations for you, distracting me.
All right, then with each set of variables, so with the set of y's and the set of x's, you need to make sure there's a 1 in front of the variable that's being squared. So here I'm going to have to factor out the 4. Here I'm going to have to factor out a negative 9. I make that a minus 4y. And now we complete the square. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Half of negative 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is positive 4.
Yay.
James, what am I actually adding here?
4.
4, so I need to add 4.
Minus 36.
Hey.
And negative 36. Or minus 36. Okay. This would factor into 4
Yeah.
x plus 1 squared minus 9 y minus 2 squared equals, what do those numbers add up to? 36? Okay. Almost done. What do I need to do next, folks?
Get it to 1.
Get it to 1 by doing what?
Divide by 36.
Good. Divide both sides by 36. Good job. So, in standard form, we have x plus 1 squared. 4 over 36 reduces to 1/9. Y minus 2 squared. 9 over 36 reduces to 1/4 equals 1. There's my equation in standard form.
Nice copy.
I know this is a hyperbola. I see the x squared and y squared. I see a minus, and it's equal to 1. Horizontal or vertical?
It would be a horizontal.
Horizontal.
Horizontal. X is first.
This is the worst.
A is always first. B is always second with hyperbolas. Where's my center?
Oh, negative 1, 2.
Good job.
Nice, Willis.
I did it right.
Negative 1, 2. It's because this one goes left to right. Okay. I like to label that with a C. Center. Since this is opening up horizontally, A units from my center to the left and to the right will be my vertices. So 3 units to the right, 1, 2, 3. 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3 would be my vertices. Those should be located at 2, 2 and negative 4, 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and draw in like my box. So that's going to help me graph this. You don't have to list out your co-vertices, but I know it's going to be 2 above, 2 below. And then I can draw the box, the box, the box, the box, the box. Ooh, I did 3 below. Thank you.
I did the same thing.
Yay.
It's hard to count with that.
Yeah.
Just try to be like me.
I did it before.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a straight edge. Let's finish our graph, and then we'll go back with the foci and asymptotes. Let's take a straight edge through the corners of our boxes and draw asymptotes. I'm going to get a nice line tool to do this.
How come we don't get line tool?
Because you're not as cool as me.
We don't have
I thought you said you had a smartboard at home. Yeah.
What did I say that?
Justin, can you give me straight?
No, we were
edge?
joking about that one day, remember?
Thanks, Justin.
Not really.
You don't
I don't
that,
remember
Russell?
much in this class.
We know.
That's not ideal.
Ideal gas law.
Yeah. Oh, we just.
I know the ideal gas law, but I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, we don't know that because we know we need it for your chemistry. So.
How was that exam, Connor?
Oh my god.
Kylie said it was bad.
Yeah. The multiple choice.
Jason said it wasn't bad.
Yeah, of course Jason says that.
True.
It's like the FRQ is supposed to be the hardest part. That was like the easiest part for all of us. The multiple choice sucked.
That's exactly what Jason said. He said,
Jackson said he got a migraine from it.
oh yeah, they're tough exams. They're no.
It went by so quick, but like I glanced over the simplest thing. Like I made a Lewis dot structure wrong, which is just embarrassing. But I can calculate the potential of galvanic and voltaic cells.
I did not understand something.
What is that?
I liked chemistry when I took it.
Oh no, I love
Loose
chemistry.
dot.
I know.
Draw carbon monoxide. Draw it right now. What is it?
Okay,
For
wait,
what?
let's finish the lesson.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so there's your hyperbola. After
Uh-huh.
you've drawn your asymptotes, I would prefer, this is a little picky, I prefer you dash your asymptotes because if you put them as solid lines, you might be confused at like, hey, are those lines a part of my graph? They're technically not like on your graph, they're just undefined pieces. So I would take like points off if you didn't dash them, but I would say as a good math student, it'd be good to get in the habit of dashing your asymptotes.
I just make them wider.
Oh, okay. All right. All we have left to do is find the foci and the equations of those asymptotes. So foci, c squared equals a squared. This one's minus, so this equation's plus. 9 plus 4 is 13. Plus or minus the square root of 13. I like to visualize this. This is about 3.6. So I know 3.6 units for my center. Focus. Focus. So the equations of those foci would be from my center, -1 plus or minus the square root of 13. And then the y coordinate is 2. Okay. Equations of asymptotes. Oh, straight over here. Can you see this color?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, my point is the center, and I got to find my slope. So this would be 2 over 3. Y minus the y coordinate, my center, 2 equals 2/3 x plus 3. Sorry, x plus 1. Put this into slope-intercept form. You get y equals 2/3 x plus 6/3, 8/3.
That's 2 and 2/3.
Oh, okay, yep. As a mixed number, 2 and 2/3. Bless you.
Bless you, Michael.
All right, remember, you can't just do, oh, now it is -2/3 plus 8/3. You got to set up a second point slope form. Aw, good thing this isn't hard math to do. It just takes a little time. Alrighty, folks. So, what I want to see on your homework, on that nice graph paper I gave you, was obviously the graph, and then your work like so on the side, and then I want you to box all of these key features.
I did.
I don't know if I can do that.
Actually, no, I didn't. I just wrote that.
Where did I put my center?
All right, one
Every
last
single
one.
answer.
I feel like we've done so many of these.
Yes, we
Because
have.
the same as the ellipse is pretty much.
We should
minus.
just be done.
Well, this one, like, you get
Thanks, Willis.
this one you get a fraction for like the A value. So
Oh, great.
No.
I just want to do like one hard one with you, and then we'll be done.
No, that's what I thought. No, that's just saying it was.
Okay. You guys, this is our last conics shape
you
we have to
after
learn. Yes.
How many more sections are there?
I think we go to 9-7. I think there's only 2 more.
God.
I like
Oh, this one's good to go over too.
Oh, it's a negative. Ew.
Has to have a 1 in front.
Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, it's nice.
All right, half of -6 is -3. -3 squared is 9. That's how we complete the square. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. All right, so I really subtracted 9 and added 16. Alrighty, so here I get negative x minus 3 squared plus 4 y plus 2 squared equals 10. Yep, that's right.
Can't you just like switch them?
Okay, we should switch them, but why?
Because there needs to be some fraction between x and y. And it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're thinking right now, you're like, wait a minute, this kind of is looking more like an ellipse. Technically, I'm going to do this at the same time. I'm going to divide by 10, and then I'll switch the order. Technically, this would be y plus 2 squared over, we'll come back to that number, minus x minus 3 squared over 10 equals 1. Okay, so this math, I have 4/10 or 2/5. 2/5 times this, that's divided by 5/2. With me there? 4/10 is the same as 2/5. So you have 2/5 times this. We're going to divide by the reciprocal.
we couldn't put decimals in here, could we?
No. No.
Really?
Okay. It's not pretty, but here's your equation in standard form. Horizontal or vertical?
It would be
Vertical.
Vertical because y is first. Good. Okay, so the weird one about this one is a squared is 5/2, meaning a is plus or minus the square root of 5/2. Oh boy.
Back to semester 1.
A is plus or minus the square root of 10 over 2, which is about, I think I have that, 1.6. And that'll help us graph this. All I did, folks, there was simplify the radicals. This is a 5. Okay, b squared isn't the best number either, but it's not as nasty. It's just irrational. Plus or minus the square root of 10, which is about, let's see, it's going to be bigger than 3.2. Okay. Willis, where's my center?
Ooh.
You got it.
3, -2.
Nice. X coordinate goes with the x value. 3, -2.
Nice job, Les.
Nice job, Leslie.
Okay. So the only thing that's not fun about these ones is we don't have whole numbers for A and B, but that's okay. It doesn't change the process. My vertices are 1 and 0.6 above and below because this is a vertical. And my whole vertice to help me draw my box would be 3.2 to the right, to the left. Anybody want to try to give me the
Nope.
The slope.
the ordered pairs for the vertices?
Oh wait, I want to give it a shot. I need a second.
Okay, that's fine.
Don't speak.
Wait.
-3 is the x value.
Okay, we know that.
Oh, I
Well,
got
positive 3.
Yeah.
3.
-3.
3,
Wait, kind of so you want to try.
Yeah. Is it
2
is it
plus.
-2 plus or minus the square root of 10 over 2?
Good job.
I was gonna say that.
I plug my ears so I can hear you.
Everybody know where I'm getting those numbers?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because it's A.
Yep.
Dude.
It's still 3, and then it's just plus or minus 1.6. We're just using exact.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Next I'm probably gonna go ahead. I'll draw on my asymptotes and finish my graph, and then I'll come back to the foci and asymptotes. Oh, that was not great. Do better than me.
Nope. Got my goal.
You just want
Let's
to.
do
Wesley
it.
just wants to be me.
Nope. Yep. No one wants to be me because you want to be like me.
He doesn't want to be like you.
Who would want to be named Kelvin? That's why money's not company. Yeah, it is.
Do you spell my coffee?
And here it is.
What does it
What?
smell like?
And here it is.
Same thing.
Yeah, your name's so Calvin.
Calvin Klein. Hey, you can't call
Chocolate.
me.
Dude, you haven't
It's like
worn
a
that
hot
shirt
chocolate
forever.
caramel.
You guys have to dress up. Well, the one shirt. No,
Okay, guys, ready to find
I wear it
foci?
normally.
Yeah, sure.
Focus so we can find the foci.
Yeah, that's not gonna
I
happen.
was gonna say focuses.
No, see, the dark colored one, not the black one, the other one. Kind of just made out of cotton.
All right, a squared was 5 halves, right?
It's
Yep.
too short for
Sure.
Or you just gotta leave it.
me. No.
One of these 10, so C squared is that thing. Mixed numbers, this is where they come in clutch. Oh, I love it.
Okay, if you simplify that radical, I'm not gonna go through and do it, but you get 5 root 2 over 2. The top's a perfect square,
Oh, I don't know.
which is about 3.5. Wait, I did that too much. 1, 2, oh no, about 3.
Just the line will turn the cheese.
It is just.
Okay, so the foci would be 3, -2, plus or minus 5 root 2 over 2. So guys, if you're noticing like these patterns, like the vertex and foci look very similar as the center. It's just plus or minus, like C or A, depending on what you're finding, right? You just need exact answers. Okay. Last thing, my friends, equations of these asymptotes.
Wait, what's the point thing you put on? What's 2 plus, what's 5 root 2, approximately? I didn't write it down.
3.5.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Good job.
Stop yelling at me.
It's okay. It's okay.
Cardi B.
I was joking.
Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give everybody 30 seconds to see if you can figure out the slope of the asymptotes.
Ooh, I got it.
Okay, shh. Just write on your paper.
I'm not.
The slope of the asymptotes. You can do it.
Oh,
Okay.
That's
Let me find
Okay.
another chicken.
Hold on.
This is confusing.
Gotcha.
Okay, just write on your paper. Don't say it.
It's some random number.
Thanks.
What? I'm gonna say it, Justin.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I got the right order.
What'd you get?
Me?
As a slope. Don't just say it out loud. Just show me.
I didn't get any.
Oh, try it. That's what we're doing.
I got it. It's a random number. I didn't get anything.
I didn't feel like
You
doing
don't
it.
really need your calculator.
Oh, it's gonna
I
be
do?
That, that, that.
That's gonna be it.
Okay, time's up. Guesses?
Got it.
What?
1/2.
Okay. Other guesses?
Got it.
1/2.
You got 1/2?
Sure. That's what I got.
Did
Sure.
you?
Got
Did
it.
somebody
I
get
did.
something else?
Yeah, I got it.
What?
-1/2.
Oh, the other one. Okay.
Wow. How'd you do that?
Wow, Nick.
All right,
oh,
folks.
because the thing cancels out with the thing.
Yeah, think about this.
What?
This slope would be rise.
Uh-huh.
We went square root of 10 over 2 units up, right?
Yeah, and then it's 5 squared.
Rise over B was square root of 10. Right? Rise over run. We went up. You want to write it in? You can. Square root of 10 over 2 units. We went to the right. Square root of 10 units. B.
Oh, so it's
Well, I just did done square root of 10 divided by 2 divided by square root of
I
10.
just looked at it.
What's the square root of 10 as a fraction right now?
Let's see.
How do I write the square root of 10? How do I write that number as a fraction?
1 over.
Well, this is a fraction. Any number as a fraction is over 1, right?
Same thing.
So times reciprocal, he was just one step ahead of me. He was already timesing by the reciprocal. 1/2
So why is it at the bottom there? I forgot. Oh, wait, because you didn't.
times by reciprocal. This is a fraction. This is over 1. Okay, so the slope ends up being 1/2. I'm just going to give you those equations because you've done enough of these. You get 1/2 x minus 7/2, and then Nick was right, -1/2 for the other one, minus 1/2 is what I got. And you would box this information.
Box it. You have boxing gloves?
Me?
Yeah.
I do not own any.
My dad made a collection
Do not.
of those.
I'll
Well,
box.
maybe you should bring it to school.
Okay, that's a wrap, folks.
Okay, I gotta do this dot structure.
Bye, Brayden.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I
Let me
can.
stop the recording.
I did it right.
Bye, Brayden. Bye. I love you. I love you.
Brayden!
Bye, Brayden.